with the first question. So managing payment register. Now, this is one aspect we need to very, very clearly understand, that if you're following presumptive way of taxation. Now, what is presumptive? What is taxation? What is conventional? What is OTR? What is NTR? Old tax regime, new tax regime? I'll explain everything. Don't worry about that. But whatever I can, but just try to listen to the flow of the program, because I have designed certain things in a certain sequence as per the audience need. So whether you are following presumptive or conventional, the first thing you need by default is the flow of income. How did you get the money in the clinic? The record of that. And there is a specific format which has been given by Income Tax Department, which is known as Form 3C. I'm going to give you a few variants of that, how I do things, how they wanted, how I, you can say, modified that, how I further modified that, how you can further modify that. I'll give you all. So you are not required to show your expenses if you are following presumptive way. Now, presumptive taxation is, it was introduced in year 2017, when many professionals claim that doctors, architects, lawyers, or self-employed professionals, they claim that we face a lot of issues because we don't have as much expenses or as much, you can say, books to be maintained like a businessman. So why are we subject to that kind of ITRs? So late Mr. Arun Jaitley, the honorable past finance minister, he actually simplified the system and introduced, there was already a presumptive section for traders. So he modified that section. That section was 44AD. So he modified that section, introduced 44ADA, American Dental Association, not American Dental, but it is just to explain you what it spells out, 44ADA. And that is the presumptive section for professionals. Now, what does that section say? Whether or not you maintain bills, you maintain books of accounts or not, your expenses will be presumed at 50%, which means you don't need to maintain any bills, but you need to mandatorily maintain your input or inflow of income. Now, this is one aspect which differentiates presumptive and conventional. In conventional, you have the income, you have the actual bills, and thereby you calculate the profit, you maintain the books of account, you maintain the bills, and you file the return automatically. Which idea to follow? I'll be covering that in today. Don't worry. All the questions will be covered. So this is the broad difference between presumptive and conventional. Now you will ask, my profit is not 50%. I may have more or less. On an average, every clinic has a profit margin of 45 to 55, which means or the expenses are in the range of 45 to 55, average 50. Give or take 5% here and there. Yes, if it is more or less, then you need to. If the profit is less, then there is a leaking bucket in your clinic. There is a Titanic which is sinking. So you need to plug that gap or seal that, you can say, loophole, or you can say plaster that bucket which is sealing or leaking from your clinic. Now, this is one thing. Input source is common for conventional, for OTR, for NTR, for presumptive, which is Form 3C. It's not just convenient to maintain, it is mandatory for all of us to maintain. Any system we are following, Form 3C. Now, what is Form 3C? Let us see. This is Form 3C. You can take a snapshot, no issues on that. So date, serial number, patient's name, nature of services rendered, fee received, date of receipt. This is what the government asks us to have. Now, technically, you will ask, there are many things. You can say, I use a software. My software has an entry system. My software will have the patient input payment. Even if you have a software, you need to remember financial records are different from patient treatment records. Patient record keeping, you can do anything. That is for the DCI purpose. But for income tax department, you need to maintain Form 3C format for input of your clinic transactions. Period. End of debate. Nothing else. You maintaining in software? Good. Maintain here also. You maintaining here, you are not maintaining in software? Perfectly all right. You're maintaining both places. Wonderful world to have. But you're making your work difficult by doing it at two places. Now you can use a variant of the form 3C, which I'm showing in the next picture. I'll show you one or two variants. You had date, serial number, patient number, nature of professional service, fee received, and date of receipt. You already had columns from A to F. Now what I've added is G and H here. E-receipt number, manual collating. What is that? Let me go to the next slide. Okay. I'll come to that. So this is one way. This is one way of, you can say, answering the question that what exactly we need to maintain the payment register wise. Of course, the next part is answered in the variant in the second question. So this is the modified form 3C where I added G and H column. Okay.